Well, good afternoon there, middle school parents. I hope you are well and enjoying a beautiful fall afternoon. Fall has really started to hit around here at St. Mary's Academy, although the tree behind me doesn't really look like it. But believe me, the rest of campus, there are a number of trees that are finally starting to turn, and it is just a beautiful time to be here at SMA. Hopefully earlier this week you saw the 160th birthday celebration that we did here on campus that included making a big 160 with all of our students. If you haven't seen the photo that was on social media, I'll make sure to link it here in my email. But it was fun to get out there with the kids and to have that special moment. Whenever we do pictures like that, I know personally, I always go back and I can find myself in that picture. And in fact, when my kids and I looked at it last night, they were all doing the same thing. So maybe take a moment to do that with your kid when you see the picture. I think sometimes it's easy to forget, in the busyness of the day-to-day of having kids go to school and just the grind of having kids at this age, it's easy to forget. I forget just how special of a place this is, how there's 160 years of history and 160 years of a legacy. And sometimes we throw that word legacy around, but I often tell our students about how St. Mary's Academy is really founded on two gifts. And the first gift is the legacy of the three sisters of Loretto who traveled up from Santa Fe to start this school. And the second gift is the legacy of everyone else who's come since then, and that they have that opportunity to really leave a great legacy here as well. And so hopefully as they spend more and more time here, they start to think more about what their impact will be to St. Mary's and afterwards as well. But anyways, it's special to celebrate that anniversary, that birthday, and I hope you get a chance to see that picture. A couple other things that have been coming up recently. Some of you had a chance to join us at the middle school parent coffee that we had on Tuesday. It was really great to have parents join us. I gave an update on some of our middle school priorities as well as just some highlights for the first couple weeks. Parents also had a chance to participate in a trivia game that kept points or added points to the Golden Wildcat celebration or Golden Wildcat trophy that we're working towards this year. So watch the video of the parent coffee if you want to see which grade level is currently in first place. But a big shout out to the parents who joined us. Among that different things that we did at that coffee, one of the things I did was just to take some time to talk a little bit about the goals we have in the middle school this year, or the priorities. And again, I've outlined them in that video. I encourage you to take a quick look, but just to summarize them really quickly, we have three main priorities or goals that we're working on in the middle school, and they include elevating instructional practices, a focus on student well-being, which includes a whole number of different traditions and enhancing our school culture, and that's been fun this year. And the last one has been around outreach and improving parent outreach, whether it be through our parent portal, whether it be some of the different activities that we've had on campus that all of our parents are invited to come to our assemblies and to our prayer services. But again, a number of different priorities and specific things that we're working on this year. So if you want to know more, please take a look at the video. Last thing I wanted to talk to you about today is, as you know, if you have a 6th or 7th grader, next week we are headed up to the mountains for our middle school fall trips. So 6th grade heads to Snow Mountain Ranch and 7th grade to Estes Park. And if I know middle schoolers well, right around now is where we start to hear some of those stories about some tummy aches, or kids are starting to feel a little anxious about the upcoming trip. There's both excitement as well as a little bit of fear. Today at our assembly, I asked students to give me like a thumbs up if they're feeling really good, down if they're feeling bad, or in the middle, and I got a lot of in the middle. And so I just share that because what I shared with the students today is, look around. If you're feeling in the middle, you're not alone. There's a lot of people who are feeling that way. Sometimes parents will ask me, how do I help my kid kind of get through a feeling of anxiousness? And actually one strategy that I've learned that I think is always helpful is kids can catastrophize something that's making them anxious. Maybe they had a bad experience in the mountains before. Maybe they got altitude sickness or couldn't sleep at night, or like the girls or boys in their room stayed up too late. And so they're thinking a lot about that. So sometimes I'll ask a kid, what's best case scenario? What could happen? And they'll kind of describe that for you, and you'll say, okay, worst case scenario. And when they start to describe it, it gives you a chance to actually work with them to say, well, wait a second, do you have any evidence that really would happen? Worst case scenario is there's going to be a huge snowstorm and we're going to get stuck in the mountains and we won't be able to get home and we'll run out of food. You can kind of go through each of those pieces and be like, well, has that ever happened before? What would happen if something like that happened? You can start to work your way through some of those nerves. And of course, if their worst case scenario is, I might not sleep very well, I'm going to miss my dog or something like that, you can start to talk about like, well, maybe you won't sleep that well, but you're going to have an extra day off on Friday. You're going to have a long weekend. You can start to work your way through like why that might be okay, actually. And it won't be the end of the world. So maybe you find that strategy successful if that's something that they're feeling. I guess with that, a reminder, the Friday that we come back Thursday, Friday we will not have school. So please make sure not to drop your child off. They can rest, sleep in, and recover. And so will our teachers be recovering that day as well. So that's it for today, but thanks everyone for all the love, support, and energy that you bring to our community every week and every year, 160 years. That's pretty amazing. So have a great week. Take care.